So today looking at the Flight Planner in Flight Sim 2024. A new feature in the Flight Sim world is this integrated planner. This is what it looks like if you pull it up from the map when you first enter the game. And of course you'll enter all your details here. Or if you've used it kind of like Flight Sim 2020, if you've migrated, you might still be entering the details on the main screen for your departure and arrival and then pulling up the EFB. Whichever way you work, it works pretty well. So this is what it looks like, and you have basically two menus. Top left, you have flight details, payload options, fuel options, navlog, and clip charts. You might use all of those in a normal flight planning. And along the bottom, aircraft information, your pilot's log, settings, of course, flight planner itself, and more apps. So, having a look at the flight planner, to begin, you load up your plan, then you click on the eye to the left of the departure airport to pull up the details box, which is in yellow, and then you begin to make changes to your plan. Or you can click in the departure box, type an airport code, and it'll pull up recent departures. As you can see, my list with CYVR at the top. Then you click in the I box, information to the left of the dialog, to pull up the AP details, which I've highlighted there for you. And that is summary, charts, and split screen are your options. Summary, as you see along the top. In this case, CYVR summary of runway, weather, general frequencies. And then, of course, charts, where you're going to spend some time. In this case, I'm looking at departures from 26L. This is the airport information chart itself, which you'll use to navigate from your gate to the runway. And when you land, you'll use another chart like that. In this case, departure 26L, I've clipped it, which means it's now saved, and I can access it in flight later if I want to again, and I probably will. And this also shows, in this case, my SID, which I'm going to use. Click More Apps along the bottom and then Dispatch, if you've installed the Simbrief Dispatch tool, which I recommend. Not perfect, but a great tool. In this case, we're looking at Simbrief Dispatch, our view of the current flight plan, and all the details are there. You can then go to Performance, and you can populate it from your last flight if it's the same flight, which is really handy. Click on Calculate along the bottom right there, and it gives you all kinds of performance data, some of which you will be entering into your flight computer. Generate your flight plan if you haven't generated it previously or if you made changes, and then you're ready for your Simbrief importing in the flight at the pilot's pad to the left. And I'm just importing my flight plan now. And of course, there are two layers to that. You also import your payload if you haven't preset that or made changes in Simbrief. You import it there, and the way you go, you can make adjustments, as I've done in this case. I added a little more cargo. Panel state to get the aircraft going, and adding lots of additional engine noise. The sound doesn't seem to work real well in the setup settings yet. And so your payload here, yeah, we're going to make sure we have all the performance data added. Change runway to, in this case, 26L. I need my takeoff weight, and it wasn't added automatically. It doesn't always add automatically. So in this case, I'm adding it, make my calculation, send that information to the flight computer, and we're ready to go on from there to the MCDU, flight plan settings, and all kinds of other settings as well. Now, here I've added some information, but I haven't added all the details. I can access my flight planner, EFB again. Go to Simbrief Dispatch. And scroll down. And then scroll within the briefing preview to get the data I need. Landing data, QNH, wind settings, temperature settings, and I can add those individually into my flight computer from the plan. Very handy. It's all integrated really nicely now, and most of us are finding it, I think, really useful tool. Can access charts in flight, of course. If you're using beyond ATC, then you have other options, but otherwise this is a pretty useful tool. Options for navigating on the ground, that is, taxiways. So that's a quick look. Hope that was helpful. You can pause at any point to look at individual screens. Flight Doc Reviews.